Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today I'm going to be explaining every song on Taylor Swift's brand new 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department. This will include the 15 extra songs. I wrote this whole video at 1:30 a.m. after the album came out, and then she announced 15 more songs, and I was simply too tired to write it because it was obviously like 2:30 a.m. at that point. So I grinded them out this morning, and I'm trying to get this video up for you guys as quickly as possible. So let's get into it. Track 1 is Fortnight. Fortnight is a period of 2 weeks, and this is a song about a short-lived relationship. The two still see each other, but are married to different people. Even if it was a short relationship, it had a lasting impact to the point where it's disrupting their current relationships and lives. This yearning feeling won't let up until they're together again. Track 2, the title track, The Tortured Poets Department, is about a relationship between two writers or poets. In the chorus, she compares her and her boyfriend to famous poets in history, and it seems to be about the same short-term romance that had a big impact on her. The song is about the beginning of a relationship and how it was imperfect but exciting, and the song turns into repeating questions like who's gonna hold you, who's gonna know you, and who else decodes you, which demonstrates that Taylor just wants loyalty and exclusivity. Track 3, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, documents Taylor coming to terms with the fact that her boy is flawed, and all of the mistreatment is not a coincidence. He repeatedly proves that he breaks anything good in the relationship, likely due to the fear of being together forever and lack of commitment. She sings that once she fixes herself, he will regret leaving her, but right now, she does not feel better off without him. Track 4, Down Bad, is another song about the beginning of a relationship and falling headfirst for somebody. She feels like it's a celestial love, and the way she feels about him makes her feel adolescent with an all-or-nothing mindset. If she can't have him, she doesn't want anyone else. It seems that this is all about the same short-term relationship, as in the second verse she sings, "They'll say I'm nuts if I talk about the existence of you," which could signify that it came and went very quickly. So for track 5, So Long London, the elephant in the room is that the song is about Joe Alwyn, which is Taylor's most recent ex. Taylor famously wrote a song on her album Lover called London Boy, so this signifies a departure from that relationship. She sings about how the relationship was incredibly one-sided for one time, with Taylor carrying all the weight of the relationship on her back. He knew she was sad, yet he didn't care, and once Taylor stopped fighting for the relationship, it ended, which proves her point of one-sidedness. She describes the relationship as a moment of warm sun, but she was not the one for him in the end. But Daddy, I Love Him is a song about a relationship that is frowned upon by the people outside of it. Taylor doesn't care about the outside opinions, and she trusts in her judgment of this person and is proud to say that she loves them, even though she can admit they're not perfect. In the end, they end up together despite the criticism, and it's just white noise to them. Taylor uses Fresh Out the Slammer as a metaphor for just having gotten out of a relationship. She knows who her first phone call will be once she's out, and may have been thinking of him even while she was in her dying relationship. She refers to her past relationship as doing her time, and this new relationship being her first taste of freedom in a while. Taylor views Florida as an escape where there are no rules and she can forget about all of her problems temporarily. She refers to it as a drug that she uses to escape reality. She lists all the things that they can do in Florida, like burying regrets and forgetting trauma, and the news of Taylor and Joe's breakup came shortly before the Tampa shows on the Eras Tour, which I was at, might I add, so it's possible that Taylor used those shows as a way to distract herself and cope. On Guilty as Sin, Taylor sings about fantasizing about a new person. She's trying to get rid of her old habits, which leads to her asking questions like, am I allowed to cry, which signifies that she probably was not allowed to cry in her past relationship. She was longing for this person while in a relationship, but her friends tell her that essentially thinking about somebody is not cheating and only actions talk. She hopes that these fantasies come true and that she's not guilty since she didn't act upon her actions until now, possibly. In Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, Taylor sings about a lot of people who don't take her seriously, but they should. She was brought to a breaking point after playing nice for so long, and she erupts. She says that the media made her this way, and she touches on rumors people spread about her. She's tired of politely taking hits from people. I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can, has similar themes to But Daddy I Love Him. She views fixing this person as a challenge that is perfect for her certain skill set, and she wants to prove she can handle a dangerous man. And only she is capable of doing that. However, at the end of the song, she realizes that maybe she's not able to fix an incredibly broken person and potentially problematic person after all. LOML is a song about heartbreak and deceit. Things moved quickly at the start of the relationship, but grew stagnant and one-sided quickly. This person told her she was the love of their life a million times, but their actions never proved it. She thought this love was legendary, but it turned out to be just momentary, and in the end, she calls the person the loss of her life, which keeps the acronym of the title LOML, which makes it double meaning. In I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, Taylor sings about despite being heartbroken, she's proven that it would not stop her from putting on a show, figuratively and literally. This could be about how she performed several Eras Tour shows right after the breakup news, and she allows herself to cry and feel her emotions, but she's also able to shut them off when she needs to. In The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, Taylor sings about after moving on from the sadness of a breakup, she's now experiencing anger. She doesn't want him back, she just wants to know what his goal was with her if it wasn't to end up together. She reflects on the way she was treated and how his actions made him the smallest man who ever lived. Alchemy is mixing chemicals and finding gold. She doesn't want to fight this chemistry, even if it seems wrong at first. She sees this love as something that only happens once every few lifetimes, and how she feels refreshed after leaving a relationship that was no longer serving her. Clara Bow was a silent film star with known mental health struggles. It details the story of making it big and how quickly it changes your life. In the outro, she says, "You look like Taylor Swift. You've got edge. She never did," which draws back to themes in songs like Nothing New and The Lucky One, which showcases Taylor's fear of being phased out one day because she's not a shiny new toy in the industry anymore. A black dog is associated with depression and sadness in English literature, but is also a real bar in London. Taylor sings about how she can't believe that after a breakup, her ex is living a normal life, while she watches it happen because he forgot to turn his location off. She's honestly so real for that. She finds him going to the Black Dog, probably with a new girl who's too young to understand the importance of the starting line of a song that once was sacred to her and her ex. She feels deceived by the whole situation and hopes that he can see the lasting impact that he made on her. In I'm Gonna Get You Back, Taylor is confident that she can get her ex back, but is still deciding if it's getting back together or getting revenge. She knows him like the back of her hand, so she knows exactly how to get him back in whatever way she wants. She says that even though she told her friends that she hates him, she doesn't, and she still loves him just as much as before. An albatross is a bird, but in literature represents something that causes anxiety, guilt, or burdens and encumbers. In the song, she speaks about how her ex was warned about her and how she'd destroy him, and she knows that how he treated her will continue to haunt him, and it's no one's fault but his own. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus touches on infidelity of a partner, while Taylor just stands back and watches. By naming 4 names, it shows that this is not the first time or the last time that this has happened. In the second verse, she says, "You needed me, but you needed drugs more." So Taylor had to leave because she couldn't watch him fall further into addiction. She feels abandoned and hurt and yearns for nothing but closure. How Did It End begins with setting the scene at a post-mortem examination, which is a metaphor for trying to understand the reason for the death of a relationship. The chorus, "Come one, come all, it's happening again," is a callback on how the media has closely observed every one of Taylor's breakups and criticizes her for them. She sings about how people are speaking about it, similar to Champagne Problems, and where people predicted it was coming due to her past. In the bridge, she plays on the nursery rhyme, "Jack and Jill sitting in a tree, Kissing," but instead she says, "My beloved ghost and me sitting in a tree, Dying." Unbelievable. I'll be the first to say it, So High School has to be a Travis Kelce song, because fans have compared them to a high school power couple, with Taylor being the popular girl, maybe the cheerleader, and Travis being the all-star football player. He makes her feel youthful again, and she enjoys the juvenile games that they play for fun. It's refreshing and new, especially after experiencing a dying relationship for years, and she references a lot of juvenile games like Kiss, Marry, Kill, Truth or Dare, and Spin the Bottle. The line, "You know how to ball, I know Aristotle," further cements the idea that it's about Travis, because we've all seen his tweets, and he does not know Aristotle. I interpret I Hate It Here as Taylor singing about how she hates being inside the darkness of her mind all the time, especially after a breakup, but at the same time, it's the only way that she can find peace, by escaping to imaginary places that only exist in her mind. Her whole life just feels a little bit lost and stagnant at this point, and she wishes that she could escape and simultaneously just stay in her own space and her own mind. The stylization of the title of Thank You AIMee spells out Kim, so it's obvious that the song is a subtle jab at Kim Kardashian. Kim recorded and edited the phone call between Taylor and Kanye West that resulted in everyone turning against Taylor, but after some time and growth, Taylor sees it as a way that helped her grow. She knew that the whole time she was telling the truth and that it would come out in time, and it did. In the bridge, she says, "And one day your kid comes home singing a song that only us two is going to know is about you," which is obviously a jab, as Northwest has actually posted TikToks singing along to Taylor songs before. Taylor is above Kim and the drama now and simply thanks her for the experience. In I Look in People's Windows, Taylor sings about looking for her ex in every place, like looking into people's windows and wondering if she'll see him and what he's up to. It kills her not to know what he's up to, even though it would also hurt to see him moving on with somebody else. She dreams about them crossing paths one more time and wonders if he's really alright with not knowing her anymore. In the prophecy, Taylor sings about thinking she found the one, but he leaves her and wonders if she's been cursed or if it was a punishment. She begs for the prophecy to be changed. The prophecy is likely referring to the fact that people she loves continuously leave her, and she doesn't want that to be her fate. She doesn't care about money, she just wants a true love. She feels like a kid throwing a tantrum because she feels that nothing works out for her, but she remains hopeful and pleading for a better outcome. Cassandra of Troy was a princess who was cursed by her ex, Apollo, to always deliver truth but to never be believed. Taylor compares herself to Cassandra, saying, "They filled my cell with snakes. I regret to say, do you believe me now?" Which could be a callback to the Reputation era, where she was made out to be a snake, when she was really telling the truth the whole time. In the bridge, she says, "Blood's thick, but nothing like a payroll," implying that all of the drama was a scheme to make money at the expense of Taylor and her mental health. She warned everyone, but no one listened. On the song Peter, Taylor sings about a childhood friend or lover and how they slowly grew apart, even though he promised to find her again once they were older. She wonders how he's doing now and how much he's changed. She waited for his return, but can't wait any longer, so she's closing out that chapter and letting go of any hope she has left for his return. In the Bolter, Taylor sings about a girl who could be herself, who tends to bolt whenever things become the slightest bit turbulent. She feels renewed when she runs from situations. At first it seems perfect, but it never develops into a serious relationship because of her tendency to run. Robin could be about Aaron Dessner's son, Robin. Aaron Dessner is a producer who worked on this album and several of Taylor's albums since Folklore. She sings about childhood and how being naive is so peaceful before the real world hits you. Even though she knows there's obstacles ahead, she encourages Robin to embrace childhood while he has it and to be carefree and wild. The manuscript is seen as the last thing left from an ended relationship. While in the relationship, Taylor looked forward to their future together, but after the breakup, she resorts to how it is when you're a child and need support, singing, "Afterwards, she only ate kids' cereal and couldn't sleep unless it was in her mother's bed." In order to heal, she had to write this album and reflect on memories, and then close the chapter. She ends the song by saying, "But the story isn't mine anymore," which is her accepting the end and handing it off to her listeners to apply the songs to their own lives. So these were very brief explanations just because it is a very, very lengthy album, and obviously with time we're going to be able to understand them more and interpret them in our own ways. But off of first listen, this is what I kind of got out of each song. They may not be perfect interpretations, and obviously, like all music, it is subjective and you can add your own meaning and however you want, and that's what Taylor wants from this. She doesn't want it to be so much about her experience anymore, even though when she originally wrote them, it was, of course, influenced by her experiences. But now in the manuscript, she's telling us that this is our story now and we can interpret the songs how we want to, and hopefully they can help us heal from any traumas that we've endured. I personally love the new album. I can't even pick favorites yet. I've only listened through a few times, so I really need to absorb it more. But if you have a favorite, make sure to comment below so that I can respond. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!